Welcome to the Feed Your Soul with Kim podcast. Hi, I'm Kim McLaughlin, and today we are talking about my number one wellness tool, which is journaling. We're going to identify 5 key components to a productive journaling process, explore the barriers to journaling, and the 4 benefits to journaling and how to get started. I want you to know before we get started that if you have not gotten my Am I an Emotional Eater quiz, you've got to get it now. It is at feedyoursoulunlimited.com. Go to the quiz button and click it to get access immediately, or go to the show notes and get signed up for that quiz right now. Today I want to talk about one of my most favorite wellness tools, and it is journaling. You probably hear me talk about this a lot in different podcasts, and if you work with me privately, we talk about journaling because I find it's one of the most helpful tools that I have in kind of my toolbox. I was turned on to this tool of journaling, the specific one we're going to talk about today, years ago when I came across the book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And one of her practices in that book is called morning pages. And I love that idea of morning pages and really embraced it after I read that book. You'll find another term for morning pages is conscious journaling. And Julia put out some basic tenets of this practice, and I just want to let you know what those tenets are, and then we can move from there to figure out what's going to work for you. And I'll let you know some of the things that work for me. First, what Julia talks about is she says to write in your journal daily. She says to write 3 pages in your journal, written in longhand, so handwriting, no computer. She describes morning pages as being done in the morning when you wake. And she talks about morning pages being this conscious journaling of writing without stopping. So you just keep writing for the 3 pages without crossouts, without need for punctuation. Just keep the pen moving. It doesn't matter if the spelling is incorrect. Just keep the pen moving. That is exactly the way she describes conscious journaling through the morning pages. I find that when I do this kind of journaling, it really only takes me about 10 minutes to write if I follow the prescription of keeping my pen moving for the 3 pages. And when I realized that it was only 10 minutes, I really was able to talk to myself more about doing it more often, because I, just like a lot of you and like my clients, think that I don't have enough time to journal. And I want to challenge you that really 10 minutes, we all have 10 minutes. And if you think about it, you spend 10 minutes scrolling on your phone. You spend 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes, I'm sure, on Facebook. So really look at whether you actually have that 10 minutes and what is really keeping you from journaling. And it's probably not the amount of time that you have. My clients and myself often will say, well, I'm not going to do my morning pages because I can't do it the way that Julia Cameron described it. I'm not doing it daily. I'm not doing 3 pages. I don't do it in the morning. I don't want to do it in the morning. And what I say is do it as often as you can. And you don't have to follow those requirements. If you just can write 1 page, write 1 page. If you want to write in the afternoon, write in the afternoon. I have lots of clients who do their morning pages, or quote unquote morning pages, in the evening right before bedtime, because they find it's a great way to do more of like a brain dump kind of idea with their conscious journaling. What I want you to think about is there are some things that you can do to get started. And one of those things is buy a journal that doesn't cost much money. I often get mine at the 3-ring binder at CVS. So I get a spiral bound notebook that is really, really inexpensive, like those ones that you used to get in high school when you were in school. These are good to have when you have that idea that I don't want to use a pretty journal. I don't want to write just a brain dump this conscious journaling, these morning pages in just a pretty journal. And that can sometimes be the thing that stops you from journaling. So use a spiral bound notebook and just do that. Second, I think is important when you're journaling is to make sure that you keep it in a safe space. Have it in a place where you feel like you can write in your journal and not have anybody read it. I have clients who keep it locked up. They keep it in a hidden place. They take it with them all the time, so they are confident that nobody's read it. Just be sure that you keep it somewhere private. I often tell the story of my first car that I bought. Actually, I found the journal of the previous owner of the car underneath the seat. And oh my goodness, I learned a lot about her that I really never wanted to know, because I looked and I read it and I thought, this is crazy. So be sure you keep it in a place that you know where it's at, and you, especially if you put it in your car, take it out before you sell it, because it's very personal and you want to have it in a safe space. Thirdly, set a time period to write. And I just say, find a bank of 10 minutes in your morning and just sit down and write. It's not any more complicated than that. I do like to do a little bit of meditation before I start to write. I like to look in my daily devotional affirmation journal or affirmation book to get some kind of that more positivity going. But you really don't need any of that. It's just sit down, open your journal, and start writing. Lastly, I don't suggest that you share what you write in your journal openly with friends, your spouse, or family. This is really your private time to just write down what's on your mind, nothing more than that. And it's that idea of you just continually write what's in your head, what's on your heart, and you put it to paper. As my previous writing coach would say, she'd say, put it on the paper. Just put it on the paper. And that's what I think of when I think of this kind of journaling. You might find, as I found, that there are often some barriers to journaling. And one of the barriers that I went through years ago is I didn't consider myself a good writer. And journaling has nothing to do with being a good writer or not. What it is it is a way to put the ideas, to put the things that are holding you back, that are holding you down, that are weighing you down, and put it from your head, from your heart, onto the paper. And it's not about spelling correctly or correct punctuation or making sense on the paper. It's just writing it down, all the things that are going on inside of you. The other thing that can come up that might be a barrier to your journaling, we talked about it a little bit ago, that you might think your journal is too nice or too expensive for this kind of conscious journaling brain dump where you're just putting ideas on the paper. And that's when I say get that spiral notebook and just write in there. I've actually been able to allow myself to do my conscious journaling in my nicer journals because I actually like opening up my nice journal. I like the quality of the paper, and I like that it is just a nicer quality. So I have been able to move into having that nicer journal and have it still be all the things that are bothering me that I put to the paper. So it could be you make the transition from the spiral bound notebook into the more expensive, nice journals because you just want to have that kind of pretty paper and pretty journal in front of you. A next barrier to journaling is to tell yourself you don't have time. Well, we talked about this earlier, and it's really about 10 minutes. When I do the start to stop timing of 3 pages longhand of a brain dump, it's about 10 minutes. That if you follow the tenet of just keep writing, it takes about 10 minutes. And it becomes this kind of flow of just whatever's in your head, you put to the paper. Whatever's in your head, you put to the paper. I was trained that if you didn't know what to write and put on the paper, just say that. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to put on the paper. I don't know what to say. Just keep writing that. The other things I'll do sometimes is I think this is silly. I don't like writing. I don't want to write. I don't like doing this. And the more you break through that rebellious side of you, then the ideas just generally flow through quite quickly. If I write down, I don't know what to say, this is crazy, I don't like this, then I say, oh, and this happened, and then my brain gets unstuck and I'm able to write more things down. Another barrier to journaling is that you forget to do it, which is why doing it in the morning when you wake can be really good, because it's just a part of your routine. We've talked about this before in this podcast, that having a routine is really valuable and really beneficial. So having a regular time that you do your journaling, it just becomes part of your day and it's part of what you do. So that will help alleviate this barrier of forgetting. Hi guys, this is Kim, and I want to let you know that the Emotional Eating Solutions 8-week course is open now. You can find it on my website at feedyoursoulunlimited.com. Go to the Work with Kim tab and click on that. This is the time to get peace with food, and I know this course will help you. You also can find the link in the show notes to the Emotional Eating Solutions 8-week self-study course. Lastly, another barrier I think happens for people is that you don't like to write. You don't think you're a good writer. You don't like what comes up when you're writing. And it's really about a brain dump. If you think of that idea, so you can hear me using some kind of terms interchangeably: morning pages, brain dump, conscious journaling. It's really, they all mean the same thing to me. And even if you don't like to write, what I know happens is it's not about the writing so much as getting the information out of your head and onto the paper. And what you might say is that, well, Kim, I don't like to write. Why can't I just say this to somebody else? Why can't I just talk about the things that I'm feeling and the issues that I'm having? And the therapist side of me says, yeah, that's a great idea. But there's something different that happens in your brain, and something different happens in your being able to process when you put something on the paper. So even though you don't like to write, it's not about that. It's about getting those ideas that chatter out of your head and onto the paper that will literally free up your mind. It literally does it every time. To me, it's like magic. It really helps me. When we look at these barriers, I think of them as they're just excuses to keep you stuck. So if you have any of those barriers to doing your morning pages, to do your conscious journaling, it's just your head trying to keep you stuck. And I encourage you to challenge that part of your mind that gives you those excuses, so that you can start getting unstuck, because that's what journaling does, is it helps you get unstuck. One of the ways I move through those barriers is once I really realize that journaling helps in my life. It has been a great value and a great asset. And this is why I present it as one of my number one wellness tools. So some of the things that I have found in my clients and other people have found journaling helps is it helps you feel more mentally organized throughout the day. It helps you kind of, once again, it's that brain dump, getting all the crap out of there that doesn't fit. So then you have these kind of better ideas. I find that once I have that brain dump, ideas come to me easier. So really what happens for me is when I'm feeling really scattered, one strategy I have is journaling, just to get out what's kind of all of the talk and the chatter that's going on in my head, so then I can come to more conclusions about what I want to do or what would be a great way to move forward. Another thing I find from journaling is I feel lighter energetically, because I've gotten out all of the extra crap that's inside that weighs me down. The other positive benefit is that you can turn to your journal when you don't know what to do, when you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, angry, confused. It then gives you a place to help work it out. And it's through that journaling of what you're thinking about and what's bugging you that then the answer, to me, the answer comes later. The answer doesn't come for me in terms, or in the process of doing the writing. It comes out later after I've done the writing, I just have this magical, oh, now I get what's going on. And then I know what to do next. And so it helps free up the space so I can get to that right answer. I also find that journaling makes me feel calmer. 100%, I always feel better after I journal. So that for me is one of the best wins, is I have this greater sense of calm and feeling better about myself and my life and what I am going to do, and maybe how I might be with another person, how I might be in my business, how I might be with my family. But it comes to me easier and I feel calmer then after my journaling. So I can say without a doubt that journaling is one of the best things that I do. And I really encourage you, if you're having any kind of negativity, just try it out. I've even done things when I'm at different places. I'll just get some scraps of paper and I'll write on scraps of paper. And then what I do is I rip them up because I don't want to have them lying about. So you don't even need a physical journal at all. You just need a piece of paper and just start writing. It will give you such great benefits, and I am confident that you will have some results that will be truly inspirational for you. So my doable for this week is try out journaling. If you like journaling, make sure that you're doing it every day. Make sure that you're having a regular time to do it and really getting that value benefit from the journaling process. Thank you for being on this podcast. I really appreciate all of you, and I will talk with you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Feed Your Soul with Kim podcast. We come to you every Monday with fresh new ideas to help you end emotional eating and put food in its proper place as nourishment. Please be sure to subscribe to this podcast and review it and let us know what you think. Thank you for joining us.